Hello, everyone, and welcome to Viva Smorgasborg, a virtual variety show. What? This week, we're doing a deep dive. We are inviting some of our favorite artists that have been submitting to Viva Smorgasborg over the last couple months, and we're asking them questions about themselves, their work, and how the hell they've been getting through this crazy isolation time. So today's guests, you'll be very familiar with because they've been here every damn week. It is Eric Ray Anderson and Amy Zoe. Say hi to everybody.
Woo,
hello.
And you guys, you're coming to us from Seattle right now.
Yeah, I'm in Ballard. I'm kind of close to the locks.
Oh. I used to be incredibly close to where Amy lives, and now I'm over in what I like to call South Lake City.
And you guys, the thing that I admire so much about what you guys have created for us and all of that you presented is you've given us an opportunity to see what it's like to collaborate in isolation. A lot of people have been sending us solo pieces because that's the easiest stuff to do when you're alone. But you guys have been really figuring out how to communicate and work together. Would you just talk a little bit about what it's been like for the two of you to collaborate?
Yeah, I don't exactly remember how it came about, except that I did. The first Smorgasborg I did was just me doing a song that seemed appropriate for quarantine times, just setting myself up with my little laptop and filming it. And then there was this theme that made me want to do something a little more on the lines of a music video. And I just remembered that in addition to Amy's mad skills as a musician, percussionist and singer and other instrumentalist, that she's just really familiar with video and video editing. And I don't know, I guess I just called you up and said, can you do this? Is that what happened, Ames?
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's like, I feel like a lot of our performances in the past have been, these thrown together almost improvisational things where we rehearse one time and then, hey kids, let's put on a show kind of vibe. So it's been perfect. And it's just adding the other element of video, which is my other big love. And it's been so nice to be able to get all my creative energy out via the video part of it as well as the music. So it's a gift. It's been wonderful.
Just a little bit about your background in video editing, because you guys are doing some really amazing, creative, resourceful work, and I just have no idea how the hell you would put all that together.
Yeah, sure. That was what I did in school. That was what I went to college for. I was in that last wave of editing with real film and things like that. So the digital stuff has been very self-taught over the years, but it's still a passion of mine. So it's something that I've always been throwing myself into. And the learning curve was kind of high at the beginning, but it's collaborations like this that push me and think about how I can do something with really small amounts of time and limited resources. And it's been creatively awesome. So it's been nice to push myself, and also collaborating with E-Ray. He always has great song ideas for the theme, and yeah, just trying to interweave all of that. It's been very collaborative, and Tracy's been a big part of that too, with her like production ideas and stuff like that. So it's just been wonderful.
The learning curve on this collaboration has just been fantastic to me. And one thing that's really interesting about this structure, I mean, I'm just so grateful for Smorgasborg to have created this thing that creates a structure and a deadline, and if I'm going to do it, I've got to get it done. The way that has been given to me, handed to me by this process has been wonderful. And then the one of the things that's been absolutely great. Now, Amy and I have known each other long enough that there's just a lot of trust there on every level. We've helped each other out in crazy, troubled times. We've put shows together under incredible pressure. We just every kind of almost every category. We've been there for each other over the last 10 years or so. And at potentially random times too, months will go by. We don't see each other at all. And but the thing on this one is that we talk about what kind of material will help her put it together, because she just at a certain point, we're going back and forth, and then she just goes away, doesn't tell me what she's doing necessarily. She says, I'm doing my stuff. Okay, I'm doing my vocal stuff. Okay, it's gonna be good. And then this giant beautiful thing drops, and because she's done that, so it's a really different. It's not a side-by-side collaboration. It's a deep collaboration, a real collaboration.
It's just amazing that you two have found people that you trust so much. And do you think that the work that you've done now during this quarantine is going to impact the work that you two create coming out of this? Like, how do you think your collaborative relationship will benefit from this time of really learning to trust each other in a whole new way?
I feel we can only benefit from this. I mean, we're now like, was it last week? We're like, we need a new name for this part of our project, and
that's true.
It's turned into something else now that's augmented what we already had. Yeah, you're right. Trust has a lot to do with it too. And I think we trust each other implicitly, creatively, and it's like we can chat about things back and forth, but then there's a lot of just like, you just do your thing, I'll just do my thing, and it'll work out,
Since Amy and I started making music together, we've then the idea has been that there's a future for us. So if it wasn't for this ridiculous situation, and then me knowing someone who's asking for these kinds of contributions, and that's you, Terry, I wouldn't be a worker in the field of music videos,
So the songs that you've chosen to commemorate the artist that passed due to coronavirus, would you just talk a little bit about choosing those songs and what those songs mean to you?
I was always someone who is not only into these wonderful songs that great artists created, but also a great love for deep cuts, stuff that people don't know. And so I know everybody else is doing Angel from Montgomery and Sam Stone and stuff like that if they're sitting around the campfire. And I'm saying, have you ever heard this one? Listen to this. This is this goofy ass song that I just am in love with. And so the main thing was I want to do something that's about John Prine, and this is just the one song I know, and it's an awesome song, and let's see what me and Amy can do with it.
I had personally never heard that song before. It's like you say, I know like his 5 or 6 really popular songs, and then E-Ray brought this song to me, and I was like, holy shit, this is so good, and it seems so appropriate. And I thought, well, a way to take away some of the kind of heaviness and play with it a little bit was to put it in an era of, like, I've always been a fan of ABBA videos and 70s stuff where there's like, dissolving people in the background, singing background vocals and people turning different ways. And yeah, I'd always wanted to kind of mess around with that, and it seemed like the perfect song to do that on.
And the Adam Schlesinger stuff, I mean, I was just devastated by his passing. I mean, Schlesinger was, barely over 50 and in the middle of like he was going to take incredible unpredictable turns in his songwriting, and we just don't get to have that. It's a terrible tragedy. And I'm not sure why I wanted to do songs from the first Fountains of Wayne album. That was where he hit the scene, and those songs are so goofy and fun, and they're just two songs I've always really liked. I mean, Sink to the Bottom. The lyrical idea is completely original. I want to sink to the bottom with you. You're the one I'm going down with. But that was the one where I think after cutting our teeth on these first two, I think that's the one where Amy and I really learned how to work together. Here's my sweetheart, Tracy, who has also been collaborating with us.
Hi, Tracy. It's great to see you. So we're about to talk about just the process and how it has evolved over the weeks and how you guys have kind of grown together.
It is a very interesting collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to throw one little thing if you guys are talking about collaboration, because I am more on a fly on the wall of these collaborations with Amy and Eric, and I really do see from the outside this creative process, and it's how magical that is of them, the two of them talking things over, and then Eric does all this really intense work, and then obviously Amy's doing all this really intense work, and the fact that they neither of them know what the other one is doing, and then it's not like they're talking. I think they probably talk once in a while about it, but I mean, it's not like they're connecting the dots together.
Do you guys ever do things to shock or surprise the other one?
Yeah, definitely. In the Joe Ray Sink to the Bottom video, there was just talk about, it'd be funny maybe if you got in the bathtub or whatever, and then I'm the one seeing the footage, like Tracy's filming him in the bathtub, and so I don't know. Yeah, it was awesome. It is definitely a surprise. And then I know when I'm editing, a lot of the times, I feel like 90% of the time, I'm like, what is going to make these guys laugh? What is going to be funny for them? How can I really get to Tracy and E-Ray? How can I make this entertaining for them? The shock factor is definitely a thing.
The best art comes from not really trying to doing something that you would like, rather than calculating what is my audience going to like.
So would you tell us a little bit about the piece that you have created for this week?
Marianne Faithfull, who is, she's in her 70s, and very much a contemporary of John Prine. She was in the hospital with symptoms and being treated and in the ICU. She was released, and I said, well, okay, well, that's good. And it was an absolute automatic no-brainer for me. She wrote one of the great songs about freaking out. And again, it's not a well-known song. And then the other part of the song is just, how do I deal with the fact that things change? God damn it, things change. I hate that. And we're all going through that. We're all going through all of those things. So it just felt really perfect, and it felt so good to celebrate someone's evident recovery as opposed to their succumbing.
And it seemed extremely appropriate on a lot of levels, but production-wise, we didn't really have any ideas for visuals, and it seemed like it's such a straightforward song. We didn't want to really make comedy out of it, or how do you do a send-up of something like that, but we still wanted to have fun with it. And the one thing we kind of agreed on this. We didn't want to lampoon it at all. We wanted it to be, the lyrics speak for itself. And so we were coming at it more straight this time, I think. As I was editing it, it became a different thing that I was really expecting to kind of play out itself, and became what it was going to be. So I just didn't fight that, and I went with it.
Would you talk a little bit about Klein Party of One?
The Klein Party. Our repertoire is anchored in not only klezmer, but also, this is very interesting, the American Yiddish musical theater tradition. And so a lot of these songs are from this tradition, but we do klezmer-ish music. And Mark, he could just kind of play through these songs that we do. But he's also been saying, you guys got to do a Klein Party One thing. So, okay. And I was just like, well, I guess I got to do a concert. And this is my version of the Klein Party of One. And then a second YouTube chunk is the optional encore.
I'm so grateful to you two for being here. This has just been so lovely to get a chance to chat with you. And I'm really excited for our audience who is seeing you to just hear about you and your process and where you're coming from and what you want to do. And I'm excited for them to see your new piece, but also the evolution of all of your pieces. So thank you so much. And for those of you out there in the audience, please enjoy this. Please share it with all of your friends. And are there any last words that you would like to leave everyone with?
I'm a person who needs a fire lit under my ass. I'm not born with a fire lit under my ass. That's a different kind of creativity that I am not. I need to be inspired by a structure, and that's what happened here.
Art lives. Art lives.
Hey, this is my sign off. I've got a new sign off.
Like you're on a float.
Which is real hugs next year.
Real hugs.
Real hugs next year.